Hi everybody, I'm Cameron, the Blushing Foreigner. Today I'm going to do the 19 random questions tag. I was tagged by Rachel, Makeup Never Sleeps. Wonderful gal. I'm sure y'all subscribe to her already. If you don't for some reason, go check her out. She's hysterical, so bright, so beautiful, full of life, and I just love her so much. She's one of my BFFs here on YouTube. She tagged me. I'm gonna just dig into the questions. Number one, where were you born? I was born outside of Sacramento, California. It's the capital of California. It's not as exciting as perhaps San Francisco or LA. It doesn't have quite the glamour, the culture, but it's got the charm. It's got incredible nature. It's a nice city. It's hard for me to imagine moving back there after living in Copenhagen, where there's a lot of culture and a lot of old stuff. And Sacramento's got a lot of Bath and Body Works and mini malls. It's got more than that. It's got some bike trails and rivers and beautiful things. Mark Twain used to live in Sacramento. I think that's like the coolest part of that city. He ran the newspaper, the Sacramento Chronicle, which is a newspaper that no longer exists. But that's one shining figure who lived in my city. It's a great little city, actually, but not that exciting. It's not as exciting as San Francisco, but then San Francisco's kind of crazy. Question two, were you named after anyone? No. I wish I was, and I always asked my parents growing up, oh, where did my name come from? And my mom would be like, I don't know, Cam, I can't remember where we got your name from. And I'd be like, that's a bad answer. But there's really no rhyme or reason for why they chose Cameron. I think my mom heard it somewhere and she feminized it by changing the spelling. So it ends with YN. Question three, when was the last time you cried? A few days ago, because I'm still mourning the death of a friend. And it's been hard the last few weeks. He died suddenly. And death blows. We all know that. So this video took a serious turn. I'm gonna try and turn it back and make it nice again. But it was an honest answer. But I'll be okay. Don't be worried about me. I'm fine. Okay, now let's try and lighten the mood. Question four. Do you have any children? No, I don't unfortunately have any children yet, but I plan to have kids. Once I'm married, hopefully I'll be married when I have kids. In Denmark, that's not the case. A lot of people have children without the marriage. Oh, I got some new rings. Hope. You should always have it. I hope to have children one day, definitely. I have a problem where I just love babies so much, and I love children. I just have a great time with kids. My boyfriend has 3 nieces, nephews. He has 2 nephews, 1 niece, and they're adorable. They're just so delightful. They don't speak any English, so I speak to them in Danish, and they're so cute. So I'm very excited to have children with Martin. That said, I want to also say that I have the deepest respect for people who make the decision to not have children. I think that is a really personal decision. No one should ever sit in judgment of someone's decision to not have children. It is absolutely valid. It is a wonderful decision too. There's so many things you can do by not having children. You can, travel the world. You can do a lot of things. Of course you can do a lot of things with kids too, but I think it takes a brave person to say, nope, having kids, it's not for me. I'm going to focus on other things in my life. And it makes me sad that a lot of people in society sort of stigmatize you for that decision. Let's face it, our earth cannot handle like every person having several kids. So I really admire the brave people out there who say, no, they're not going to do it. I think that's so valid and totally fine. But I'm one of those suckers who just loves kids, so I have to do it. I'm excited. 5, if you were another person, would you be friends with yourself? I don't want to linger on that question too long because it's a resounding yes. I think I'm okay to be friends with. So I would probably be friends with myself. Otherwise, I'd be a little self-loathing. Question 6, do you own any pets? I don't own any pets. I'm not a huge furry friend. I don't dislike animals at all, but I'm not in love with animals. I'm not someone who just grabs a puppy and starts petting or cuddles with cats. I don't do that. If you were to come to me and say, I have a baby here and I have a puppy here, and I need you to watch one of them for a week. I would gladly take your baby, your screaming infant, and babysit for a week, but the dog would be a different story. I don't think I could do that. Isn't that crazy? I love my parents' dog. They had the most wonderful dog for 15 years, and he was the best. And he restored my faith in myself, because before that I thought I was a cold-hearted bitch who didn't like animals. Because I just grew up with cats and I kind of just ignored them. They were just always around the house. There was always like 4 or 5 cats at a time, and I would just step over them. And I remember going home from college with some of my friends, and they're like, what's the cat's name? And I was like, I can't remember. That's terrible. But I'm just not like a huge cat or dog person. But my parents' dog Arlo, who they had for a long time, I loved him. He was the sweetest puppy. He was so cute. He was a black Labrador. 7, do you use sarcasm? I sure do, quite a lot. Yeah, I love sarcasm. I don't know how to not be sarcastic. I think I was just born with a mouth on me. My mom says that. When I was a little kid, I'd be like, I would always have a comeback, and I was probably a real pain in the ass. I'm sure my kids are gonna be just like me. I tell Martin a lot, I hope our kids are more like him, because he's like so nice and sweet. He's very, very funny, but he's never like that sarcastic. He can be a little dry. He's got a British sense of humor, so he's really, really funny. But I'm sarcastic, and as a kid, I kind of used it as a weapon against my parents. They were really nice. No, they weren't. They put up with me, but I know I tested their last nerves often. Question 8, would you bungee jump? No, I won't. It sounds terrible. I have no desire. I'm not like a daredevil like that. I won't skydive either. That does not sound very fun to me. And it's expensive. Like, why would I want to put myself through that just to be in pain? Question 9, what is my favorite cereal? In Denmark, my favorite cereal is havregryn. It's like an oatmeal. It's really good. It's a healthier cereal. In the US, I enjoy eating oatmeal. I'm like drawing a blank on what kind of cereals we have over there. I used to enjoy Kix when I was a kid. I don't know, do we still have Kix? Shredded wheat is good. I like that. What is my eye color? My eye color is blue. It's got some green in it, but it's mostly blue. Question 11, scary movies or happy endings? It's kind of like saying bananas or spaghetti. Like the two are not on the same plane. It's like genre versus whatever. I'm not into scary movies. Don't enjoy them at all. Oof, I really don't like them. I think the scariest movie I saw was a movie that's not even that scary, but that's my threshold, and that was The Sixth Sense. That movie scared me, and I don't go any scarier than that. A movie like Seven, I will never see that movie. Poltergeist, Exorcist, no way. I think I saw a scene from Poltergeist when I was a kid at a slumber party, and I freaked out and went home. Happy endings are all right. I kind of like a happy ending every now and then. I think also a sad ending that has sort of a lesson or a moral can be beautiful, and in some ways that can be a happy ending too. You guys, last night we saw the movie Into the Wild. Great film. I usually have a no Sean Penn policy because I think he's kind of a jackass. Sorry, that's just whatever. He annoys me. But he directed and wrote the screenplay of this film. It's based on the book by Jon Krakauer. I read Jon Krakauer's book Into Thin Air, which is a wonderful book about people who climb Everest. He followed some mountaineers going up Everest. But this one is about a gentleman who went out into the wild. He went to the Yukon forest of Alaska. And then, obviously, you know, went through some stuff. This is a spoiler alert. So if you want to see this movie, don't listen for the next minute. Okay, so the guy totally dies at the end, and it's so sad, but right before his death, he has this moment, like an enlightenment or an epiphany, where he realized what the key to his happiness was, and it was to be sharing his life with someone else. And he was in solitude at this point. He was out there in the wild, and it's so sad, but he kind of realized, I think he made peace with his decision, because he realized life is, you know, happiness means sharing it with someone else. And there he was dying alone, and, you know, live together, die alone. That was in Lost. But it was like a moment of clarity for him, and I was very touched by that. So it's a sad movie, but it's got this sort of lesson that I find kind of happy at the end. So I enjoy movies like that. It's such a good movie, Into the Wild. You should check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Question 12, do you have siblings? I have 3 siblings. They are awesome. I have an older sister. She's super cool. She's very different from me. All of us are extremely different, yet kind of the same. We all have the same voice. We look totally different. My older sister is a teacher. She's amazing. She's got the coolest kids. She's really close with her students. She does some great things. She's probably the best teacher you could ever have as a student. She's amazing. She should be getting awards. And then my other sister, who's the other middle child, is the only one who's married of the four of us. All four of us are of the age where we could be married, but only one of us is. She has 2 jobs, 2 full-time jobs. She's an ultra runner. She's run 100 miles 2 times in her life. She's done 2 different races. She's amazing. She's so freaking disciplined, the hardest worker you've ever met. And then my youngest sister is the most like me. So she's fabulous, of course. No, but she's basically a lot younger than me, and everything I've done in my life, she sort of tailed me when we were kids, and I just took care of her. She was like my baby. When the minute she was born, I was like, this one's mine, and I just kind of raised her. And she's so freaking cool. I love her so much. She does synchronized swimming, so she's part of this water troupe. That is fantastic. They were on Glee a couple weeks ago, or a month ago. So she's an extremely talented, wonderful person, and I have the coolest sisters ever. So I think y'all would like them. I'm so proud of them too, and I miss them when I'm gone. Question 13, computer or TV? I'm more of a computer person for sure. I enjoy watching TV online because I can watch things more in real time. I can stay current on the American TV. I really enjoy a lot of American series right now. I'm into some of the comedies, Modern Family. I don't like anything that has a laugh track though. My mom enjoys The Big Bang Theory. If I hear a laugh track, I just turn it off. It's so old school to me, I can't do it. Ugh. I enjoy Mad Men. Lost was probably my favorite show ever. I watched some old school stuff like Twin Peaks. We just watched that. Seasons 1 and 2, really good show. Question 14, what is the first thing you notice about a person? I enjoy it when a person looks me in the eye and makes eye contact. So that's one of the first things I notice. I notice when you just kind of look away or when you're looking somewhere else, like here. No one really does that, but you know, that's not good. But I enjoy, or I notice if they look me in the eye. That's important to me. And I live in a country where out in public, a lot of people are very shy. There's not a lot of interaction. You don't make small talk with a stranger. That's just a custom here. So when I find someone who makes eye contact with me out on the street or somewhere at a restaurant or a store, I'm so thrilled when they look me in the eye and maybe smile, or maybe they do nothing from, you know, the nose down, but just the eyes have a way of smiling sometimes where it can just be so well received. So I love that. I have a story. I was on Cannon Drive, which is parallel to Rodeo Drive, 10 years ago. I was still living in LA then. And I was walking and I saw a cafe, an outdoor patio cafe, and there was Danny DeVito. And I just kind of turned my head like this and I was like, and I didn't mean to do that, and it's probably totally lame that I was like, oh, to Danny DeVito, because you don't want to like disturb a celebrity. I would never go up and be like, hey, you're Danny DeVito. But I reacted, and he looked at me and he saw and he made eye contact with me and was like, just like that. And it was so friendly and sweet, and he smiled, and I was like, okay, bye. And I just walked away. I didn't go near him or talk to him, but it was so sweet that he regarded me, looked me in the eye and gave a wave because he knew that I just recognized him. So I love that. I like when people make eye contact. 15, what is my favorite smell? I have to get comfortable. The light is going down. I'm so sorry. I had a little bit of daylight and now it's quickly going away, so I should finish this. My favorite smell is the smell of the alpine air up in Lake Tahoe. I love that smell. It's beautiful, it's fresh, it's clean. You got pine trees, you have the beautiful redwoods up there. I just love that smell. I grew up going to Tahoe quite a bit. We would go in the summer and the winter, and it's just my home away from home, and it smells so beautiful up there. Question 16, what is the furthest place you've been from home? I have been to India, and I've gone there several times for work, and that's the furthest away from California. And I really love India. I want to see more of Asia. I've only done the southeast part, but I love India, so that's the furthest I've been. Do I have any special talents? Not really. I used to be able, or I still can do this. I can stand on my head. It's not talent, it's just a random little thing I am capable of. I taught myself how to stand on my head as a child because I had trouble sleeping at night, and I would go in and I would bug my mother in the evening or at nighttime when I'm supposed to be sleeping. My sisters were asleep, I was bored, I'd be like, Mom, I can't sleep, and she'd be like, why don't you go stand on your head? And she was just being glib, being kind of messing with me, you know? And so I did. I would go into my bedroom, I'd prop my legs up against my bed, and I would just hold it. And then I would get tired, and then I'd go to sleep. And then whenever I got bored in my life, if I was watching a TV show and it was boring, I would just watch it upside down on my head. And I never even needed, at that point, I didn't need anything behind me. I could just freestyle, stand on my head. And about every year or so, I check to make sure I still have that skill and I still can do it. So, silly, stupid, meaningless talent that I have. Question 18, do I have any hobbies? I don't know, I enjoy writing, reading. I do Pilates. YouTube is a hobby of mine. It's a big one. It takes up quite a lot of time, but it's a wonderful hobby. Highly recommended if you're thinking about doing it. I love self-help books and doing like, not therapy groups, but like self-improvement, like groups and networking and talking, sharing circles. I used to do that a lot in my 20s. Living in LA, you can find an abundance of like groups and clubs and little things you can join. I was in a youth group just for fun, and we would do retreats at this like retreat center in Malibu that was like a monastery, and we would just do workshops on how to like live a better life. And I love things like that. I love self-improvement and going to bookstores and just reading, you know, ways to change your life. I think that's really fun. Not like Dr. Phil Change Your Life, although I did buy the book Relationship Rescue when I was in need of a rescue from my relationship. An old one from my 20s. I've had a few relationships. Last question, make up your own question. My theory is most, you know, that's my theory. I could be wrong. So, okay, I'm gonna tag some people below. The first one I wanna tag is Lauren, redheadphd. These 3 people I'm naming are channels that I just love, who I think are really cool people. Lauren is the kind of person where you watch her and you feel like you're gonna improve your SAT score. She's so articulate. She's a bright, intelligent, cool, smart. I just repeated smart and intelligent, that's redundant, but she's a great person, and I love listening to her talk because I feel like I'm growing my vocabulary at the same time, and that's important, you know? We can talk about perfume and makeup, cosmetics and skincare, and grow smarter in the process. So check out Lauren. Lauren, I tag you. I also tag Angie from the channel BeautyFashionFitness. I think she calls it Your BFF. She's a really nice, sweet, cool lady as well. I think if you're a fan of Hannah G, you're gonna like Angie. She sort of exudes that same kind of class and positivity. She's sweet, she's got, I mean, beautiful everything, and she's got a good philosophy on life. So I really enjoy Angie. I tag you. And then I tag Faithersk. Faith, really nice lady, so bright. She's homeschooling her children. Really cool, great channel, really articulate, very smart gal as well. I think that's like a trend among all the people I watch. There's so many more smart people that I'm not mentioning, but I mean, those 3 just sort of stick out right now in my brain as I want you all to see more from them. So take care. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you soon.
Comes the morning when I can